All right, so there's an old argument that I've seen coming around again, is people want to place more emphasis on one thing or another. The question was asked, is the mental game more important or the physical? And it reminded me of a conversation that Jerry and I had about street smarts versus book smarts. This is 20 to 22 years ago. In Jerry and I's conversation, he said, look, you've got street smarts and you've got book smarts. They both complement each other. He said you need both. Right? You learn a little bit, then you do a little bit, or you do a little bit, then you go learn a little bit. There's complementary, there's an overlap, right? But he looked at me and he said, if I had to choose one, I know which one that would be. You guess? Street smarts. That's application, right? You get somebody on who's street smarts, who's doing it. That's application. That's survival in a lot of cases, right? But you need both. Now, in this instance of like what's better, the mental game or the physical, look, I think the bigger breakthroughs, the bigger hurdle out of the two is the mental part. That's the hardest. Not only when you're tired and your body's telling you to rest, when you're like, I got to keep pushing, there's somebody screaming at you to keep going. That's the hard part. That's a hurdle that you got to break through. When your body's only 50% there, but your brain thinks it's 80. I'm done. I've got 20% left. So, but that's where the biggest breakthroughs take place, when you get through that mental barrier. Mental, like fight IQ, right? Understanding how to use the 5 ways of attacks, right? How to set up punches and kicks. That's all great. But I've seen people in a ring who are just going on heart. And at that point, it didn't end well for them, right? The person with the better physical ability ended up dominating in the end. So you need both. Now, like I said, the mental aspect, I think that's got the biggest hurdle, but it pays the biggest rewards. When you get that, you understand how to push yourself harder. But you need the physical. If you can't stand, you can't fight, right? So you need both. So that's the truth of it. If I had to choose one, I know which one I would choose first, but one's going to lead to the other. As Jerry said about street smarts and book smarts, one is harder to teach, harder to learn, right? The street smarts is harder to teach, it's harder to learn. The mental part of it, it's harder to teach / learn, right? How you get there, you just got to get in there and do the work. That being composed, being relaxed, and sparring, actually putting yourself in it. And you're not going through, drills with your partner who's complying with you, right? And you feel cool about yourself, but you actually throw yourself in the water and start swimming. That's how you get there. That's how that's built.